football. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, interesting news coming out the super middleweight division as the chosen one, the monster himself, Edgar Berlanga. It's been reported that now apparently him and Top Rank Boxing have mutually agreed to split and part ways. Edgar Berlanga is now a promotional free agent, and he will no longer be fighting under Bob Arum and the fine folks over at Top Rank. Now, this really isn't ultra surprising because we saw Berlanga, the momentum has been dying down. Although he hasn't lost and he's still 20-0 with 16 knockouts, which is a great record. In the Steve Rolls fight, he didn't really set the world on fire. And the same thing happened with Romero Angulo where he bit his ear, So he's shown some stagnation as a boxer. And I think Top Rank is getting out the Edgar Berlanga business before they feel it gets bad. That's probably the notion they're taking. They don't want Edgar Berlanga to get knocked out. And they just feel like whatever they thought was there, maybe it's not there. Maybe he turned down some fights. Who knows? But whatever it is, they are no longer together, and he will now be moving on in his career. So what's next for the monster? What's next for Edgar Berlanga? Well, his manager is one of the most prominent managers in boxing. His manager is Keith Connolly, top manager in boxing. And listen, Connolly's got pull with all the promoters. He's got fighters with every promoter. He's got fighters with Eddie Hearn. He's got fighters with Al Heyman. So right now, that looks like the route Berlanga's going to go. He's going to either sign with Eddie Hearn or he's going to sign with Al Heyman. Now, let's talk about what could happen if he signs with both these promoters, right? Now, if he signs Al Heyman, we know PBC has a truckload of 168-pounders that need fights. They got Plant Benavidez. They got, Plant Benavidez. They got Dave Morrell Jr. They got Demetrius Andre. They got Vladimir Shishkin. They got a whole bunch of them. Charlo's probably going to move up there this year at some point, you'd anticipate, because he's a big 60-pounder. So he can mix it up with any and every of those guys, and I think they'd be great fights. Andre to him have a common opponent with Desmond Nicholson. That'd be an ideal fight. Want to be a big fight, and I think Berlanga will probably be the biggest name on Andre's resume. So that'd be a good fight, right? But if he doesn't sign with PBC, who has a bunch of 168-pounders, let's say he goes to Matchroom. Who does Matchroom have? Well, Matchroom, I could be wrong, right? Because Canelo's last fight was what? Bivol? I'm not sure. I think Canelo is still contractually with Matchroom, and they're probably gonna do the John Ryder fight. So, let's say he goes to Matchroom, they got John Ryder, right? He can fight him after the Canelo fight or whatever, and John Ryder's name will be a lot higher at that point. He can fight John Ryder, who's a top 68-pounder, one of the top 68-pounders in the world. You got maybe the big fight with Canelo, which Eddie Hearn is already talking about. He's already been saying it in the media. Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga is a massive, massive fight. All that stuff, all that jazz. So there's that fight, albeit I don't think it's really competitive right now, and Edgar really needs to develop. And then the fight I really think, if he's going to sign a match, they should look into would be him, not against Canelo, not against Ryder or anybody, but Diego Pacheco. Yes, Diego Pacheco I think is the one, because that's Eddie Hearn's best prospect. That's, to me, I think he's going to be a world champion at some point in time. And he's a Mexican fighter, Mexican-American fighter from the mean streets of South Central LA. It was a top amateur for the USA and Mexico simultaneously. I would like to see Pacheco and Berlanga, Mexico versus Puerto Rico matchup. Two young Mexican and Puerto Rican fighters. Not a young up-and-comer versus an older fighter, but two young, hungry lions trying to get it. So there's options for him at Matchroom 2, right? But I cannot talk about this video without talking about what needs to be talked about, because there's another 168-pounder who was formerly signed to Top Rank, right? Who is also, I believe, I could be wrong, but he is, as far as the big promoters are concerned, he is not signed to any of the big power brokers in boxing. But Jesse Hart, hard work Hart, I still want to see him fight Edgar Berlanga. And what's crazy, right? I was messaging Jesse Hart back and forth a little bit yesterday, and he kind of vented to me a little bit just about how he doesn't feel Berlanga would take the fight because Top Rank apparently wanted him to take the fight and he didn't, and that's why, you know, they never fought. And he wants to keep fighting these over-the-hill guys for money, and Top Rank, I guess, wasn't having that, so he just feels that Edgar Berlanga will never fight him. But for me, right, rather than him fighting Diego Pacheco or being thrown to like Demetrius Andrade or any of these other guys, I feel like this is still the most ideal fight for Edgar Berlanga. Why? Because Jesse Hart is a guy that is a talented fighter, yes, but he hasn't exactly cut the mustard at the top level of 68. You know, now I'm not gonna shit on Jesse Hart. You know, he only lost to one of the top fighters around these weights, and Gilberto Zoro Ramirez, and they were entertaining fights. He came to fight, and he, you know, there wasn't anything that he should be ashamed of. You know, he fought like a true Philadelphia fighter should fight, in victory and in defeat. You know, so I'm not gonna slide over that. But he's eager to prove his level back. He's still eager to prove what he can do in the 168 division and to the world. And I feel like he's got a lot to prove. Edgar Berlanga's got a lot to prove. They have history. Jesse Hart's been kind of like exposing him on Instagram, talking about how Edgar used to, you know, DM him and be a fan, and now Edgar Berlanga don't want to fight him. So, you know, that's the fight I want to see. But either way you cut it up, slice it, and dice it, this division is heating up, and Edgar Berlanga has a whole lot of options, no matter which way he goes. So if he goes to PBC, tons of options. If he goes Matchroom, tons of options. If he stays a free agent, he's got Jesse Hart right there. So, interesting stuff for Berlanga. I think this is definitely a watershed year in his career. It's a big year in his career. He's got a lot to prove this year, and he's got to really reestablish himself. Even though he hasn't lost, he's got to be dominant in one of these fights to let the people know that, hey, I am nothing to be messed around with here at 168. So that's the news. Top Rank and Edgar Berlanga split. You know, they're no longer together. Edgar Berlanga could be signing with Matchroom or PBC in the coming days, weeks, and months. So we'll definitely keep our eyes peeled to that on True School Sports. But listen, man. Jesse Hart. That's the fight we want to see. Jesse Hart versus Edgar Berlanga. Edgar Berlanga versus Jesse Hart. The crossroads fight in the super middleweight division. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you think Edgar Berlanga should fight next? I want to hear from you guys, you know, because there's a lot of names in the 168. Maybe I missed somebody, so let me know. Put me on game. Help your boy BT out. Put me on game. Are there any names I didn't mention that you feel should be getting the shot at Edgar Berlanga in his next fight? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.